knock the rust off, and nothing really changed as far as how I prepared or what I did or what I ate for lunch today. Like, it's just a matter of time. And I mean, that's not to say that didn't feel great. Playing that well feels awesome, and I'm glad we got a win. That's a really good team, and they're playing really, really well.
How important was it that you guys went on this streak without Beal?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, obviously everybody knows that he's our best player and he's the head of the snake. And in order, and not only to weather the storm, but to put together a winning streak when he's out is huge. We were struggling for a little bit, and playing games like that only make us better because injuries happen. And when Brad goes out, God forbid, we got to be able to play well.
The ball's been sticking a little bit less in general, it looks like, at least from our point of view. What have you guys been doing in terms of, is it just recognizing the next action quicker? Like, what's going well there?
It's just a team-wide emphasis, make the next play, move it around. And when you make those kind of plays, the ball, goes in more. We, made 13 or 16 threes tonight. That's a testament to how we move the ball. When you let it breathe and share it, the ball finds the bottom of the net. So hoping for more of that moving forward, because we need to make threes at a high clip to win this league.
Corey, when the team early this season, when they were struggling to not be able to hit threes, and Wes obviously trying to instill to you guys to just keep shooting, how much pressure do you put on yourself, knowing that that's a huge part of your game and a huge addition you bring to this team?
I mean, I try not to, but it's natural, right? That's the reason why I made it to this league, and that's my job. That's my job, to go out there and shoot. And when the shots aren't falling, it gets frustrating for sure. But nights like tonight kind of make it all worth it when everything's clicking. And we play so many games, and there's so many opportunities that you're bound to put together some hot streaks. And if you do the right thing over the course of 82 games, you're going to win a lot of them.
Monte keeps telling us that he's still figuring things out. Can you guys tell that he looks, pretty seamless, or like he's getting into his role from our perspective?
Yeah. I mean, just like it took me time, and it's still taking me time to get back from injury. Like, this is a brand new team for Monte, and he's an amazing player, a great point guard, and he's leading our team. I mean, he's flirting with a triple-double, it feels like, every night. And whether or not he feels like he's still figuring it out or not, I mean, 5, 7, and 9 is a really, really good stat line. And he's the engine that makes our team go. And when he's at his best, we're at our best. So, give him some time, and, he's going to figure it out, just like all of us are.
Did you know that you were perfect from the field tonight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a miss would stand out tonight for sure.
KP said that even though it's your second year in the league, you have the game of a 10-year vet. I guess, where does that come from? Is that a lot of Gonzaga, or just playing the right way? Oh,
for sure, yeah. I mean, I credit a lot of my experience in college to how I play now. Just drilling it into your head, as a college player, how to play the right way, and you stick out like a sore thumb over there if you don't. So it was just a natural step to come over here and do that, and that's the only way I know how to play. So thank you, KP, for saying that. That was very nice of you. And I'll try to continue to play the right way, and do the right thing, and hopefully we get paid as a team because of it.
Obviously, it's maybe easy to point to this game, but I guess, when did you first feel, okay, you're finally back from the injury, just have your legs underneath you, or into the flow of things? Yeah,
even as early as like last game. In the game before, I felt pretty comfortable. It's not like things are moving super fast. It's just getting back in the flow of the game. I mean, a lot of guys talk about flow, and it's kind of cliche, but it's true. And tonight was the night where I really felt like I was in the flow of the game from the jump. So my ankle feels great. Physically, I feel awesome. It's just a matter of time before the basketball stuff kind of comes along with it.
I know you don't want to give spoilers, but how good was the Black Panther movie?
Yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. Go see it.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Coach, Corey's performance tonight, didn't miss a shot. Did you see that coming from him, just the progress that he's been making?
Well, he's been putting in a lot of time, a lot of work. I know it's tough. You kind of miss a chunk of the end of the preseason. You miss games early in the season. Finding that rhythm as a shooter sometimes takes a minute. It's certainly not for lack of effort, which he's put in some time, and he's due. He's a good shooter, so it's going to find his way eventually. So it was good to see him kind of see the ball go in, and hopefully that kind of gets him going, snowballs into what we saw last year.
What did you like and what didn't you like?
As far as
in the game, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, winning a game like that against a really good team, it's a good sign because I think we did a lot of good things offensively. Finally saw the ball go in from the three-point line. We got those threes up. Vast majority were quality threes, which is important. And defensively, we did some good things. Able to defend without fouling. Going in, they were going to make some threes. 14 of 40. Could have been much worse. But for that team and the amount of shooting they can put on the floor, it's not terrible. And obviously we want that number to come down a bit. But we were aggressive in the paint. We were able to get to the line. I think that opened up the three for us. But it was another overall team win. Obviously KP spearheaded a lot of the offense. That's going to vary from night to night. But in general, I thought we were able to do some of the things we talked about doing defensively.
Wes, what was it about the offense that allowed Kristaps to take advantage of his mismatches? It seemed like a little bit more efficiently than maybe he has in a couple of games past.
Well, I think with the way they were guarding him and switching, oftentimes put a small on him, which he was allowed to kind of get good looks that way. And then he's always a threat in pick and roll. And his angle of screening helped because now it forces the chase over. There's a little bit of confusion as he creates that separation. It's tough for bigs to get back. So he got some looks late in the third and fourth, pick and pop wise. But I thought he did most of his damage early in the post.
And I think Kuz said on the might have been out on the court last game that he's been asking you guys to give him more responsibility and saying, "Run the offense through me." Has he won, or was he just showboating out there?
He has, and it's one of those things where it's got to be done by committee. Right now we're down, and you don't have Brad. So the other night we didn't have KP. So naturally everyone's going to have to take a little bit of a step up as far as responsibility. I like the way he's played as far as his pace, even off makes, and that's great. And the best part about that is we're still able to stay organized for the most part. We're flowing in early pick and rolls, we're pushing, and we're kicking the ball ahead quite often, which is great. Those early, if it's not early transition, secondary break opportunities have been good for us.
Do you get to point to games like these past two with him now and say, "See, your time will come. Don't worry about it."
I don't know if he'll ever be satisfied.
Did you know that Will still had that kind of bounce in him?
I knew it was in there somewhere. I would see it every now and then, but that was a good sign.
Wes, Will Hardy said after the game that we lost the game because of our defensive intensity, the lack of defensive intensity. What did you guys do to make them lose the game because of the lack of defensive intensity?
Well, they're a really good defensive team. The two areas where they struggle are in the paint and then transition. And those two areas where we actually had some success. Getting out early, even off makes, and pushing ahead and getting those easy opportunities. And then our paint offense, points in the paint all season have been relatively good. So like our two biggest strengths, I guess, tonight were their two biggest weaknesses. That was part of it. I think some of it was the switching, the cross-matching allowed KP to get going. And as any shooter, once you see the ball go in a little bit, now you start shooting into a big basket and things come a tad bit easier.
Coach, you guys finished the first half on a 21-6 run over the final 6 minutes and a 12-0 run to end it. A large part of that was with the starters back on the court with that final group. What did you like and what did you see in that final 6 minutes? And then also how much fun is it to just go into the half with that sort of energy and that sort of juice?
Well, that's a momentum stretch. To your point, the end of the second, and actually I think the first 4 minutes of the third, we were able to kind of, I think, push it to 15. So those type of stretches, and we talked from day one, it's important to try to win first 2 minutes and last 2 minutes of each quarter. Obviously, if you can do it in 4 and 5 minutes, great. But we played with great pace, not only in the half court, we got up and down, we got up the floor, and we initiated our offense quicker, which I thought helped. We stayed in attack mode. And I think that's a big key for our group, is when we start playing shell offense and we're just kind of playing around the horn, but stay aggressive. That's got to be a mindset of ours. And it's not aggressive as far as, chasing or hunting shots, but putting as much pressure on the defense early in the clock as possible.
And then you guys also kind of withstood a lot of mini runs from the Jazz in the earlier part of the fourth quarter, especially the first half of that final quarter. They seemed to get it to 6 points and 7 points pretty frequently. What did it say about I know resiliency is something you guys have touched on a lot, but what did that show?
Yeah. It's important for us to kind of weather that storm. You got a double-digit lead in the fourth. It's not over, and especially with a team that can shoot the three as well as they do. It's 2 possessions, and all of a sudden it's a ball game. So, it's important that you don't have to trade 3 for 3, but you got to keep hitting singles and make sure we're getting quality looks. Make or miss, at least your floor is balanced to give you a chance to get back and play defense. And I thought we did that. We didn't get too wild or too far ahead of ourselves. Managed the flow of the game pretty well.
Coach, what did you think of Hachimura's defense today?
I thought he was really good. Had a huge block. Was a heck of a play. He's blocking shots at a higher rate this year than I think he ever has. So I think that speaks to his overall awareness, especially on the weak side, his activity. And he's obviously a really good athlete. So I like the fact that he takes a little bit more pride in, guarding those smalls, keeping in front, defending without fouling. He's done a decent job the last few games.
Wes, how important is it that you guys have 3 in a row now?
Of course, it's important. It's a good feeling, but we don't ever want to get ahead of ourselves. It's just the most important game is the next game. Obviously, you want to learn. If there's anything we can pull from this game and apply it to next game, we'll do that. But you want to kind of keep that momentum. Of course, it's fun to win. It's fun to win at home. You have the crowd behind you, so it's a great environment. But we don't want to start looking too far down the road. It's just one at a time, and if they stack up, they stack up.
Denny had his 2 threes in the second game against Chicago, and then he had pretty much had a slump from 3. He had the 1 3 against Dallas where he seemed relieved, hit the 1 3 tonight. What's the messaging to him to just kind of have him keep going?
Yeah, it's just that. I think the overall quality of threes that we've gotten over the last few games is better. But if you're open and it's within the flow, it's the best shot for us. And I thought early in the season, he, along with other guys, were turning open threes down. Now we're just driving it back into the teeth of the defense. It led to some turnovers, some tough, awkward, contested mid-range shots. If we're spaced correctly and we hit the paint, which has been one of our strengths, that ball kicks out. You got to shoot it. It's the best look we're going to find. Good. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.